guys, welcome back to FX Rhapsody. Today we will be looking at the British pound, US dollar, and also the British pound Japanese yen. Before we hit the charts, let's just go visit my website. I've updated the COT report again, so it's there in the resource tab for you to download, and you can use it on all the other pairs. All the currencies are updated, so you can use it on all the other pairs that you trade. There's also some other cool stuff on the website, so just browse through it, click through it, and let me know what you think. Okay, let's hit the charts. Now, for the British pound US dollar on a monthly time frame, you can see that we still have this area up here. So the area up there, that's still, there's some huge liquidity that's lying up at the top there. Okay, so we want price to move to the upside. That's what we want, but it's just Forex, we cannot tell price what to do. Currently, we have this area over here, and we have this area over here. So price is consolidating between these two areas. Okay, what we see is with the price that was consolidating, moving up to the upside, coming down, all this liquidity here was taken out by that candle. There was some sell liquidity, guys putting buys in, leaving their sell stop at the bottom. So liquidity came down, or price action came down. Price tapped that liquidity that was in there. So what we're expecting price is to rally now to the upside. For me, I think price is gearing up to go and take out that liquidity. But again, it's just my bias, but don't just predict the market, react to what it's doing. So seeing that I'm saying that it's going to go up, let's go to the weekly time frame. Let's see what price is currently doing. So as you can see on the weekly time frame, price has been rallying up. It's been in a nice upward trend, bullish trend for quite some time now. Let's just make this bigger, we can see nicely. So again, we have this area over here. There we go. We have this area of liquidity that's lying at the top here. And like I said, with price action, it hunts that liquidity. We have this area over here. Whoops. Come now. And also some liquidity that is over there. Guys placing their shorts on that side, buy liquidity lying on the top. We know that in this instance over here, that there was a lot of sell stops at bottom. Excuse me, guys placing their buys, coming up, coming down, and what price did was it literally came and tapped out all that liquidity that was at the bottom there through this candle over here. So by doing that, we now expecting price to come and hunt the liquidity at the top, and then even further up to the top, breaking that big resistance that's waiting, or all that big liquidity that's lying at the top there. There's massive liquidity lying there. So price is definitely, slowly but surely hunting that liquidity. Like we know, it doesn't, especially on a weekly time frame, it doesn't just happen overnight. So on a daily time frame, let's see what we can see. Let's just expand it a little bit. Okay, so now before we expand it, we know that all this liquidity at the top here, look at that massive amount of orders, sell orders that was placed there. The guys were just climbing into the market, especially when price made that let's call it resistance area. So we know about that area over there. We want price to go and hunt that. So currently what we're seeing here is this. We've highlighted this now on the weekly time frame, but it's just nicer to view it on the daily. So we know that that area over there is a nice area of liquidity that's lying on top there. Sorry that my line is not as straight as possible. There we go. And then what we can see here is, let's just take out a Fibonacci, because this, this downwards candle was that candle that took out liquidity. So we take the Fibonacci from the low to the high, that's over here. So we can see price rallied up and then it started turning, making its way to the downside. Just wanted to, I just saw something now when we were doing while I was doing this analysis. Another thing that's also quite visible is, for those of you that likes candle patterns, you got your head. Oops. It's just what am I doing? Okay, so you've got your head, there we go. You've got a shoulder over here, as you can see, okay, and then you've got another shoulder forming over here. So you're looking at an inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulders on a daily time frame. So that in mind, we can see that the Fibonacci, I would like price to actually, you can see price is pushing up. I would like to see price making its way to this area over here, to this 62, pull back to the 62 at least. We can also see this candle. I've always said, if there's a little bit of a, like in the bullish movement over here, you've got a bearish candle over there. That creates a little bit of a support area. So I would like to see price pushing to this end here, maybe even just to that 50 before we see price going to hunt that liquidity. But again, price can also just from here rally up to that area over there, because what we see here, again, whoops, undo. What we see here is on a daily time frame, we saw all these orders. There were some buys that was placed here, guys leaving their liquidity over there. Price came and tapped it out. So now this area of support became resistance. So now again, just on top here, there's some more liquidity. I mean, guys, the more you trade it, the more you see it. So obviously we want price to hunt that first and then go hunt the big one. Okay, but that's small amounts. But again, that's price action. So what we want price to, what I would like price to do is pull down to the downside and then move to the upside. But again, we will have to view it on a lower time frame. And then, I mean, I've made videos before, and I'm going to make more videos on how I tackle the week and how I trade on the lower time frames. So we want price to go and hunt that liquidity, but is it the right time? Is price going to go up? Is the British pound now strong? We know the dollar is getting stronger as well. And so let's go look at the COT reports, the commitment of traders. Let's see what the guys are doing in the big banks. So we can see here that they have taken out a lot of shorts in the market, and we can see this huge influx in longs and shorts. So this momentum shift of net position is getting more. So it went from a 21,000 and went down, meaning price went down, and then we saw price starting to rally up to the upside this last week or so, and then made a little bit of retracement. So now we're sitting with big net positions, or a positive net position again, which means is the British pound is rallying to the upside. It's gearing up to actually go and take out that liquidity. So again, lower time frames, guys, just go have a look at it. Don't just trade on the daily or these high time frames. Go to the lower ones, go look at what price is doing. So that is it for the British pound US dollar. So let's just go to the pound yen on a monthly time frame. What do we see on the monthly time frame? It's also, there we go. Price is also just, I mean, it's staying up here on the upside. You've got all that liquidity that's here on the top. Okay, so what we want to see is price, whoops, we want to see is price just going and tapping out that liquidity. I mean, it is in an upwards movement. It is in a bullish movement. Price is coming up, making a retracement, and then, you know, let's see what happens in the next week or so. On a weekly time frame, so let's just expand this a little bit so we can see better. Okay, a little more. On a weekly time frame, so you had all this liquidity that was lying at the bottom here. Let's just mark this out, and like you see, marking that liquidity out. I'm drawing these liquidity lines in, you know, in, it's just, I mean, liquidity can lie just below it, so I'm just making a line. It's not to say that it's that far away from it, from the orders. You can see that, I mean, that candle over there was tapping into that liquidity. So that is why you saw price rallying down to that area, and then you see price starting to rally up. Okay. Right over here is also some more liquidity, because now the guys saw this price coming down and start pushing up. Now the lower time frames guys started buying into. You can see this area of support forming, price bouncing off it, so the guys were climbing into the market, leaving the sell stops over there. What we also can see is now it's in a small little consolidation phase on a weekly. So you can see price bouncing up and down, and again, you know, it's gonna hunt all that liquidity that's lying on top there. Okay, price is just gonna hunt. I think I made a video on the previous, I said that in the previous video as well. So what we want to see is price coming and taking out that, and then moving up to take out that. But again, price can just as well rally down to start to take out this liquidity at the bottom first before heading up. So again, let's go down to the lower time frames. The higher time frames is just to see what the momentum and the movement in the market is. What's, you know, if it's a bullish, bearish, you know, just to get a feel for it, just to read the market a little bit better. Okay. So over here, what we can see is, so straight off the bat, you see that trend line over there. I mean, you open your charts, you see it. Bam. That trend line was predicted. I mean, not, sorry, that trend line has been respected. So the price have been respecting that line or that area, if you can see that. Now, normal retail traders, I just wanted to show you something. Yeah. Bam. Goes there. So obviously, guys are in the sell. So guys would look at it, normal retail traders would look at it and say, okay, cool. And you know, I always fall in this trap as well, or a lot of times, or I used to. So you try and bring this or put this trend line here, and you say, okay, cool. Now I see this area has been respected, so we're expecting price to go to the downside and then maybe move to the upside, you know, because you can see this whole movement down, this bullet. So you have all this quick analysis, but just be careful for that. So you have this area at the top here, okay? So you have this liquidity, you can see that, right? Let's just do that, make it higher. So you can see all these sell orders that have been placed here. It's a good area of resistance, okay? So that's what most retail traders have. Area of resistance, place your sells here. You can see this trend line going down. So obviously price is definitely going to start falling hard. Okay, so that's what most guys say. Look at this. There's an area of support. I would say support. It's not support and resistance, but let's just call it support for now. You get that liquidity that's at bottom. Price rallied up, came down. Guys climbed into the market for that retracement. It started pushing up. Sellers climbed into the market, leaving that liquidity because it's a very strong area over there for sells. Price came down or start heading down. Now a lot of guys are saying, okay, this is now the moment. So price is now going to hunt that liquidity first before it moves up. But now, before you think about that, before you do that, let us just take out our Fibonacci. So you take the Fibonacci from the low here, and you take it to that high there. And now you can see, look at this. You expand it a little bit. What I'm saying, so yes, you do have that scenario of price going down to tap that liquidity before it moves to the upside. Okay, you have that scenario, but what you also have, let me just take this out. What you also have here is a perfect entry right there. Okay, between the 70%, 70.5% and the 79%. And I'm saying price is going to go here, going into that area, and then start moving to the upside. It's just going to that optimum trading area. It's going to go into that zone there, and then poof, it's going to start taking out that liquidity. So let's get more confirmation on this. Let's see what the big banks are doing on the CFD reports. We're looking at the pound, so we know that the pound is stronger or getting stronger. They've been putting their longs in the market, as you can see. They've been putting more longs in. There's 1,900, there's 1,600. They have been taking their shorts out. Okay, they take their shorts out, meaning they are selling their shorts because there's more longs being put in the market. What's the Japanese yen doing? Japanese yen is just going the opposite way. So the Japanese yen is putting a little bit more longs in the market. Telling you now is just to push that price down, and then they've put a lot more shorts in, meaning it's getting weaker. So they're selling off the Japanese yen, meaning the Japanese yen is getting weaker here. It's going to go to the upside. All right, so that's my analysis on these two pairs. Again, guys, go to your lower time frames. Go back to my videos. I have made a couple of videos on how I trade on the hour time frames. I will be making more this week, so hit that notification bell, and just be ready for those videos that comes out. I'm not saying trade like that. I'm saying this is just a guideline of how, and just a visualization of how I tackle the currency pairs through the week. Like this video, comment in the comment section, and again, go visit my website. There's a lot of information on there that might help you, especially if you're new traders. So go and look at that. And guys, I hope you are having a fabulous weekend. Till next time, guys. Happy trading.